It's actually rather insane that I tend to historically develop crushes on women that are crazy or retarded or fucking just out of their minds. I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about Jasmine Crockett. We talked about her for about 20 or 30 minutes. The only thing we were able to talk about is how fucking good she looks. Nothing else. Because we know nothing else about her. The only thing we know about Jasmine Crockett is that she hates white people and she really hates Trump. And she's a good actress because we all saw the video of when she first came into politics. She was very well spoken. She was articulate. She could enunciate. She became some ghetto superstar trash baby mama with no kids. After she got into politics, it's like someone came to her, gave her her script, told her her role, and said, "This is what we will do, and we'll make you rich if you play this caricature. If you pretend to be Bebe from Bebe's Kids, we will give you these lump sums of money, and all you have to do, you don't have to do any policies, you don't have to do nothing for your community, you don't have to do anything for your constituents, you don't have to do anything extra. All you have to do is say mean things about white people and mean things about Trump, and we'll make you rich." It's kind of like how we're watching that the Netanyahu lobby pays certain Americans to talk bad about other influential Americans. Right now, you have Israel, Brandon Tatum. He's like, "I love Israel so much," doesn't know shit about the place, and he attacks people on their behalf, paid. You see Tim Pool out of the blue talking about how much he needs money. And then all of a sudden, he's going at Candace like a wild dog. Money. So you can tell when you see a shift in a person's behavior, an adult, and it's sudden, they're being paid to do something because that's not who they are. Jasmine Crockett was not always like this. When I first met her, I'll be honest, I had the biggest crush on her. I still do because I'm shallow. She's short, she's dark. Does something to me. It gets me right here. But she went full retard. And one thing I learned from the blackest man I ever seen when I watched Tropic Thunder was you never go full retard. So we're going to watch this video. I'll be honest with you. She says some things that are controversial, but this is probably one of the first times I've ever heard her speak. And she says something that was correct. So take a listen.
He played us.
Let me tell you, let me ask you about a quote that you've made that has some Democrats worried about your ability to win statewide. In a December 2024 Vanity Fair profile, you talked about, quote, and I'm going to read a lot of the quote just to put it in the context, quote, "All the complexities within the Latino community, the immigration thing has always been something that has perplexed me about this community. It's basically like, I fought to get here, but I left y'all where I left y'all, and I want no more y'all to come here. If I wanted to be with y'all, I would stay with y'all, but I don't want y'all coming to my new home." It almost reminds me of what people would talk about when they would talk about kind of like slave mentality and the hate that some slaves would have for themselves. It's almost like a slave mentality that they have.
Now, she was not supposed to say that because that shows that she has a brain. See, one thing about me that people like is that I'm not just analytical, I'm over analytical. But it's because I'm from LA. And in Los Angeles, the way you can get along with people and deal with people from different neighborhoods and different racial backgrounds, you have to listen to every single word they say, understand it, understand the nuance, because there's indicators in there for how things are going to go in the future. She overanalyzed these words, but she's absolutely correct. We have a common saying here. We say, "Don't California my Texas." So what that means is if you're going to come here from California, become a Texan. Do not bring your California mentality, your California habits, your California attitude, your California way of thinking, get here and try to vote and make Texas into that bullshit place that you left called California. Don't do it. If you're an immigrant coming from Mexico, for example, or even coming from Cuba, do not come to the United States and start trying to turn the United States into Mexico. Don't come with that attitude, that mentality. Learn to speak English. Don't even speak Spanish if you have the choice. Transform. But if I left all those people back in Cuba, if I left on purpose those fucking monsters in California, do not bring those monsters to Texas. I didn't move to Texas to live around a bunch of people from California. If I go somewhere, if I see more than one person from California, I leave. If I'm driving into a club or to an event, if I see more than one California plate besides mine, I'm driving out the exit. I don't want to be around other Californians. That defeats the purpose of me leaving California. So she's correct. If an immigrant came here from another country, if they love that country and the people and their attitude so much, they would have stayed. They left to get away from that. It's the same thing with the blacks and slavery. Why do you think black people who work and take care of themselves and take care of their families, why do you think they hate ghetto black people? Why do you think they don't like people that live in the hood? Why do you think they hate Jasmine Crockett? Because she's a reminder of that slave mentality. See, the difference between a slave and a American adult is an American adult takes care of himself and his family. You know what the slaves tell me? You know what regular black people, the rest of them tell you? That taking care of your children, paying your bills, and being a responsible person are all the hallmarks of white supremacy. So that's why they don't do them. That's why they stay in the hood, they stay in the projects, they live off the government, they live off Section 8. The two can't exist. I work so I can get the fuck away from those people. The same thing with blacks. They work so they can elevate and get as far away from the slaves as possible. Everyone's not the same. The people that want to live in Mexico are different than the people that want to come here and be Americans. The people in Cuba, where I'm from, there's a reason. And a lot of it is based on color lines. There's a reason that the Cubans that left in the Bay of Pigs look like my mother, but the ones who wanted to stay in our country look like me. Because when Castro came, he used the blacks, because we had the majority, to revolt against the minority, which were the fair-skinned people. And he told the blacks the cure to racism is communism. And he lied. And what they're doing now is they're radicalizing the blacks in America along with the gays, and they're telling them the cure to racism is a coup. We overthrow the government and we bring in communism. That way you don't have to work or pay bills, and everyone's going to be equally poor, so no one can look down on you anymore. So all that insecurity you feel about your skin color and about not wanting to work, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Just vote for me. I'm a Democrat. I'll free you from your insecurity. You won't feel insecurity about your race anymore. That's the lie they're selling Americans that are black now. That's the same lie Castro sold our people in Cuba. That's what led to the Bay of Pigs, where those fair-skinned white people were cast out, and the blacks were used to solidify communist power until today. Until today. Poor conditions, the horrible world to live in, lifestyle. Everyone's poor, but they wouldn't change a thing because that's the ideology they bought into. It's unfortunate. In America, we're seeing caste systems develop, and they have nothing to do with race, everything to do with character and personality and attitude. White people, even black people, to tell you to be patriotic or be a patriot and to be proud of your country and where you live. That's white supremacy. So they're trying to talk you out of it. They're trying to manipulate you. So in this situation, Jasmine pointed that out. It kind of makes people aware of it. But that's what I mean by she's not supposed to say this. She said this on accident, which is why she denies it.
The time that was published last year, around 1 million Latino voters in Texas were voting for Trump. Do they all have slave mentality?
No, and that's not what that said at all, to be clear. It did not say that every Latino has that type of mentality.
No, but the ones that vote for people who believe in strong or Trump's immigration policies.
So I don't believe that the people that voted for Trump believe in what they're actually getting. That is number one. What Trump said is that he was going to kick out the bad guys. And that's what I was talking about. I've been down to the border. I've been down to South Texas. I've campaigned down there. And so I am talking about exactly what was going on when I was down there on behalf of the Ghetto campaign. In fact, when he was running for governor.
The fact that she brought up some weird gay Spanish dude named Beto, whose real name is not Beto O'Rourke, it's the reason why, you know, sometimes my guilty pleasure, I get a little ice cream at night. I light candles. I rub hot chocolate on my chest. I strip. And I watch Jasmine Crockett news interviews on mute. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to put that out there. That's my only guilty pleasure. Because if she would just lose her voice and be a mute, she'd be perfect. If she just would shut the fuck up. Because her and Kamala, I don't know if they're vegetarians, but the word salad situation where you say a bunch of stuff that means nothing, but you look good saying it, that's like, oh. Why does she got to be so fine? Why did God do this to me? Why would you make me like women that look like her, but remove the brain? Like, is there a wizard that we can take her to go see? Can I fix her? I mean, look at her. She's beautiful right now, but she's aging out. She won't ever have kids or a husband because remember, having kids, having a husband and a family, hallmarks of white supremacy. Trump has kids and a family. You don't want to do what Trump does because you're a white supremacist. So she has to stay true to that. So she's living her role. She's kind of like Tupac. You know, you're an actor, but you become your character. And she's becoming this caricature. There is no husband and children in the future. There can't be. The role doesn't call for that. Besides, there's a depopulation agenda specifically on the Black community. She can't have kids anyway. But it's just a shame. It's just such a waste. She can't even tell you what Beto was. What was his policies? What does that look like when you're campaigning for a man that's standing on nothing? His whole campaign is just basically vote for me. I'm not white. Vote for me. I'm not a straight white man. See, that was her whole campaign, but that only works for a woman. Hey, vote for me because I'm a Black woman, because your voting constituents, your district was carved around all Black neighborhoods in Dallas. So vote for me because I'm Black, not because of what I can get done or what I've accomplished. It'll work because you're only dealing with low IQ Black people. So yeah, they'll vote for you because you look good, like a sea lion, like because you're Black. That's all you got to say. You go up to the microphone, you say, hello, everyone. So my policies are this. Black, 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 black. I hate white people. Black, 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 black. White, Trump, white, white, black, 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 black. What kind of campaign? You're running on nothing. Bullshit. So it's a shame that, like I said, I just listened to her talk right now. She was technically right about what she wrote, but she has to dumb herself down so that she doesn't piss off those in power of the DNC, or they would cast her out. But the good thing is we just got done redistricting Texas. She doesn't want to be honest about what she said because now the same people she used to demonize, those white people, those are going to be the people she's going to depend on to vote for her to be the Senate, and they're not going to do it. Nobody would ever do that on purpose. So she's going to have to find an all-Black county in maybe Louisiana and run for, the sanitation secretary or something, but it won't be in Texas. It can't be.
I was sent as a surrogate, and I said, talk to me about what is going on why is it that they believe that they can win Latinos down here? Like, I don't understand what's happening. And there were people that were saying that they had fought and they had done everything the right way, and that there were bad people that were coming that were doing it the wrong way. And so they were saying, no, we left. And I mean, when you think about people that are leaving asylum, they are leaving areas and situations that they feel like are harmful to them. So yes, they're like, no, I don't want to be in this dangerous situation. And that's what I meant. But at the same time, I knew what Trump meant, because Trump had a record. Trump had a record of locking up kids and putting them in cages.
Why the fuck is she so cute? Oh, she's too cute. She's too cute. I feel like I just went to Build-A-Bear and I rubbed a Hershey on the prettiest, cutest little bear, and I just want to hug it. I just want to, like, I can't even hug her. This is horrible. It's such a waste. A sexy, beautiful, short woman, and it's all gonna just go to waste. Don't get me wrong. We gave her time to make her point and land her plane. She couldn't do it. All she could do was keep bringing up Trump. Jake Tapper is talking to you about what you said about Latinos, and what you're doing is say, well, but what they think is what Trump said. It's like, who are you? When did you become the Latino whisperer? I'm Latino. I speak Spanish. I can't tell you what other Latinos think. I have no fucking idea. All I know is what they tell me. Period. We talk about these things. People can decide for themselves what they want for themselves. We like Trump because Trump has children. Trump has a wife. Trump also said he will make sure that the illegals are not going to bring the bullshit over here that they're doing over there. And it cost me and my family a lot to get away from over there, so we don't want the bullshit here. Very simple concept. Very simple concept. And again, she just tosses a word salad that's like no other, where she says nothing. And now you're just pretty much trying to figure out how people think so you can manipulate their mind instead of just being genuine about your true policies. If you're a politician, talk to me about your policies. Talk to me about what you're going to offer me. That's the issue with these, again, these black politicians. She's the same as a Dr. Umar. What is Dr. Umar? Do any of you guys know who Dr. Umar is? Put one in the chat if you know who Dr. Umar is. Okay, a couple people know who he is. That's good. What Dr. Umar is he's a black scam artist. And his claim to fame is he was supposed to build a school for black kids, which would be illegal because you can't discriminate in educational realms based on race because of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. But yet all the blacks in the country, I guess they forgot that they're in the United States and don't know about these policies. So he's been collecting money for like 10 years or so. And he's never even bought one fucking book. There is no school. There's no school being built. He pocketed all the millions of dollars in donations that he received from other hyper-racial black people. Nobody black cares that he stole all the money because all they want him to do is insult white people on their behalf for them. So every time you look up, he's talking about Trump. He's making fun of white girls. He's calling them snow bunnies and snow lizards. And he's making all these comments disparaging white Americans and Trump. But he calls himself a Pan-African, but he would never step foot or live in Africa at all. But that's his only thing he does. He just talks bad about white people on behalf of black people. They love him. They pay him for it. We pay Jasmine Crockett to do the same. We pay her salary in Congress to sit around and insult white people and Trump. People are like, yeah, she's fighting Trump. Okay, what is the goal of the fight? You know, when I go, if you're a boxer, you fight, you get a belt or you get some kind of prize. What is she fighting for? Nobody knows. There's no intended goal. There's no laid out plan. There's nothing that she's asking for. She just wants to insult white people and Trump, and that's it. You don't think you wasted your vote and your time on this woman? You don't think these people that are offering you nothing, that's the problem with being politically illiterate or politically ignorant. You don't understand how politics work. Politics is a negotiation. They're supposed to offer you something for your support. She just offers to insult white people for you, and that's it. Where's the exchange? Don't get me wrong, she looks good doing it. Oh, but that's it. I mean, I like her the same reason I would literally only vote for her the same reason I would subscribe to her OnlyFans, because she looks good. I wouldn't care if she could read. I don't need her to read me a book. I'm not logging into OnlyFans so that she can say, well, Rico, let's go over to Cat in the Hat today. I want to see a cat. Don't want to see a hat. So that's where we are when it comes to Jasmine Crockett. I mean, I'll let her finish, but you might get a nosebleed because she never really makes a point. If somebody thinks I'm wrong and they can tell me the point that she made, please, translate it for me. Maybe I don't speak ghetto enough. I'm not sure.
So I knew what Trump meant. And so that's why it wasn't making sense to me. And ultimately right now, I just came from a joint hearing that we were having on the Senate side. It's the Senate as well as the House. The first time I've had a joint hearing ever since I have been in the House. Mm-hmm. And I was listening to Latino American citizens that have been arrested by this regime. Some of those people may have voted for Trump. I don't know. But they agree that what he's doing now is wrong. And it's about right versus wrong and not right versus left. And he sold them a bag of goods. And I knew that that's what he was selling because I knew his record.
All right, Jasmine Crockett, we'll leave it there, but we know you'll come back and
You know, it's crazy. There's somebody in the comments that I would love to talk to. Don't tell me you're a sellout Trump supporter. Hope you ain't that. Listen, Miss Jenny Poppins, what the fuck is a sellout? I'm an American. What are we selling here? And okay, now I love her for how she looks. I think she's fine as hell, little chocolate short, little lips on her. I like, like she could be a stripper. She could be an OnlyFans model. She could be on Love and Hip Hop. I got a thing sometimes. It's a guilty pleasure. People don't know I'm into that kind of stuff, but I am, But you're saying vote for her. For what? Name some Jasmine Crockett policies. Or matter of fact, how about this? If you would vote for her, what did she offer you for your vote? And her insulting white people to make you feel better about your insecurity about being black, that can't count. I mean, you can't really even admit that. So tell me what it is that Jasmine Crockett offered you for your support. That doesn't make any sense. Trump is the president. I am an American. Trump's American. I can't sell out to America. I'm an American. I'm not Chinese or, Cambodian. I live in the United States. I'm not Black MAGA either. I'm actually, is your camera broken? If you when I look at the camera, my skin is brown. I'm Latino. I'm Hispanic descent. I don't know what that means. Are a bunch of bootlicking broke? What does that even mean? Now, Jasmine, does she wear boots? Are you asking me if I would lick Jasmine's boot? Hey, listen, we get a little spicy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, let's put me in a situation here. I mean, I've seen her in some boots before. I don't know what color. They were like some snakeskin. I've seen her in some. Would I lick her? I don't know. Now, I mean, you get me a little bother. I'm a little warm in here. It's winter, and here you are, got me thinking about her boots. I mean, look, if you're gonna talk nasty to me, you're gonna have to send me a DM. We can have this conversation. Right now, we're having a conversation in the comments on YouTube. I'm gonna need you to tone it down a little bit and let's talk about policy and not talk to me about some sexy time. Okay, that's me and Miss Crockett. We're gonna bump into it because I'm in the political space. I'm a commentator, and then I'm in business. I'm in Texas. I'm gonna bump into her eventually. And she might like a little reek. She might. You never know. You don't know what people like. You never know. I mean, who would have thought that? I like her boots. I mean, you're right. And you bringing up the boots, you know I'm into boots. You know, I got a thing for heels and jeans. She rocks it. We're going to have to slow down. Yes, Latino for Trump. Yeah. I love it. I'm glad he's everything he's doing. It's crazy. You blacks don't like your president, but you won't move to Africa. You know, he's not the president of any of the African countries, right? You know, you could relocate. I don't know why you torture yourself in America every day staying under his rule. I mean, you do have a passport, right? You have an ID. You could leave the country and you could repatriate yourself to Ghana, Benin, Nigeria, Ivory Coast. They just did some referendums in Sierra Leone, Senegal. You have a lot of options. So you're a bootlicking Trump supporter too, because you're literally supporting him with your tax dollars because you live in his country. And I say it's his country because he is the president, elected in by the people, the majority. So in this situation, you're wrong and you lost the argument. Yes, you do support pedophiles. You support R. Kelly. You supported P. Diddy. You support all the other black pedophiles. You support Roland Martin. You support D.L. Hewley. You're literally on the left. The Democrats passed a bill in California which literally decriminalized putting pedophiles on the sex offenders list. What is that? SB 145? Scott Wiener? And you're on the left. You're against Trump. You're pro pedophiles. It's legally. You guys actually have policies. You guys can make up stuff into the ether about Trump and kids, but you can't give me the kid's name. You can't tell me where or when this happened, so you just make it up. It's kind of like you're having wet dreams and fever fantasies about Trump with children, which I think is weird. But because and I say you're making it up because you can't provide a name or a location where any of this stuff happened. You can't tell me who the kids are, but I can tell you who put forth those bills in California that protect pedophiles. And by protect pedophiles, that means when you're an adult and you're caught having sex with a child, you don't have to register as a sex offender. That's policy, Democrat policy in California that was making its way east until Trump and Charlie Kirk got it shot down, which is why you pedophiles, you blacks, is why you hate Trump, because the pedophiles told you to. He literally stopped the bill from going east, but it's still the policy in California. Look it up. SB Senate Bill 145. Go ahead and read about it. You support pedophiles, ma'am. Now, if you were MAGA, you would be against pedophiles. You would be against child mutilation, child castration. You would be against pushing the gay agenda on children and turning children trans by castrating them. You would be against that, but you're for that because you're against MAGA. I mean, why would you not want to make America great, but yet still live in America? You should move. You should move. And yeah, you are a weirdo. I agree. No, there's nobody that he raped. Who did he rape? Name the person. Name it. Even that person, what's her name? Carol? She can't tell you what year. She can't tell you the month. She can't tell you anything. He was found not guilty of that, but they tried to find him criminally liable. But even that case was recently appealed and thrown out. He doesn't even have to pay that woman. It was all fake. So, you know, and unfortunately, that's the reason people don't take you seriously and people just ignore you now, because for one thing, the Latino vote outweighs your vote. So no one has to be nice to you anymore for your support. No one has to listen to you. No one has to placate to you in your community by pretending that they like you. Now they go eat Somalian food. They're not in the hood eating barbecue and hot Cheetos with y'all to get your votes no more. They're dealing with the Somalians and the Mexicans. They don't really need you. They don't need you anymore. Also, you guys are heavily vaccinated and passing away in record numbers by the hour. So it's not like there's really going to be many of you left by 2030 to do much good for us in the midterms or in the next election. You've been replaced. I'm only having this argument with you because it's going to be played back for an audience. My conversation is uniform. I want people to know where I stand on certain topics regardless. So that's why we're having this conversation. It's for historical record, not necessarily because I'm trying to sway you. You're a lost cause and you're vaccinated. There's really not much for us to talk about I'm not a psychic. I don't speak to the dead. What are you, not Kevin Costner. Who was the guy in the movie Ghost? Not Sean Connery. The movie Ghost. His name was Patrick Swayze. You're not Patrick Swayze. I'm not Whoopi Goldberg. So I'm not really talking to you. I'm really talking around you to the people that are going to replay and watch this video over and over again. This is our exchange. Yes, it is documented, Senate Bill 145. The thing is, you're the one that can't name these things off. You'll say something, but you never looked it up and read through it for yourself. That's why I called you ignorant. That's what makes you nonsensical, and you're not necessarily a person to argue with because you don't even know your own argument. You're speaking from emotions. You're not able to think clearly. And that's not just because you're a woman, it's because you're also black, which is you think with your color. You don't have a brain. Now, don't get me wrong. They said the largest organ on your body is your skin. And I guess that is, so it is your skin. It outweighs your brain. So I guess that would make sense technically if you wanted to think with your skin. It's just a man of logic. It doesn't make sense to me to do so. I'm an American. The superficial stuff as far as what I look like when I was born, I have zero control over. I couldn't even choose my own parents. So really, that argument's inconsequential at this point. Let's see here. Boot licking. Are we back talking about Jasmine's boot? Girl, hey, man, look. I just told you, I said what I said about the Crockett thing. I'm not proud that she wear these boots and be looking. I shouldn't even be thinking, why you keep bringing up me licking on her boots? Man, look, let's look. You hit me hit me on TikTok. Hit me in the DM. You send me some boots of Jasmine. I'll send you a little something. We'll exchange on TikTok. But let's not do it here on YouTube. I'm trying to be serious, trying to have a political conversation. And you got me changing my mode. You got me ready to turn these lights off, put these candles on, put a little bubble bath, and put those Jasmine Crockett videos on repeat, on mute. You got me about to do that. Please don't do it. Yes, you're talking out. Let's hear MAGA's the low. You can't even. You're not giving any specifics. See, that's the difference. You're just speaking in general. Give an example. What makes them low? What makes us low? Because I'm MAGA. So what makes us low? I mean, you really can't give any examples of anything that we've done. What do we do to you? Because we don't play into your victimhood. I won't cry about George Floyd with you. I won't tell you that you're a victim. I won't lie to you and say that you're too dumb to get an ID. So voter ID laws are racist. Is that what you're upset about? You want me to tell you that you're too slow, you can't find the DMV, and you're just too poor? Well, then if you're that poor, how the fuck do you afford the internet to talk to me in these comments? Or are you using an Etch-a-Sketch with some twigs and you're using solar powered sunlight? Is that how you're accessing your Wi-Fi? I mean, what is it? How are you here? The grift you tried, wetbacks are. Ooh, look at the racism. Hey, look, I'm here for all the racisms. I've been called worse than wetback. That's fine. And I just took a shower. It could be a little damp. It could be, but if you put my wet back on the back of Jasmine Crockett's neck, then we could probably make some chemistry somewhere. And then you bringing up boots. I don't know what you look like. You might got some nice boots that you could wear too. So I don't know. Let me take a look at you. See if you got a little page. Midwest Tsunami. Wait, I don't know. Midwest the best. Okay. A little sexy. Okay. A little something. Oh, a little picture of Nefertiti. So you're some kind of confused African. So you're not like Johnny Somali and these other ones. You're like one of the confused ones. I think that's cute too. All this stuff is cute. I think it's fun. And I like the interaction. I like going back and forth. I can do it all day. But you keep bringing up her boots, give me a little hot and bothered, and I gotta go change my sweater and I gotta change my shirt, go put on something else. This Might get a little warm out here. It's getting a little warm, you know, the conversation. I'm starting to like it. So, but look, like I said, you hit me on TikTok. I'll hit you here. Oh, you send me pictures of polar bears? Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Yeah, I like polar bears personally. I like animals. I'm an animal person. I think that's cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll use like some kind of raccoon, or what's the animal that represent your people? What do you guys what like a squirrel or a spider monkey? I'll put some spider monkeys in the chat to represent you. So that way we going back and forth with animals. I appreciate it. I think, not to say you look like a spider monkey, but with boots on, even a spider monkey can probably pull it off. So we'll see. Like and subscribe, share the video. I'll be back on live in about, I'm gonna go get something to drink and eat some fruit, walk my dogs. So give me about 30 minutes. I'll be back on live with another topic. Remember, America first, America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.